Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's Shane here. Today I have a very special guest. This is one of the original students of the digital marketing program that I talk about on this channel. That's gotten thousands and thousands of people success over the years. This is one of the OG original students, Nick, and he actually is a coach for the program as well. So he's going to tell his story of originally being a student in the program and then being a successful digital marketer, rising up through the ranks as a digital marketer, and eventually also becoming a coach. So, Nick, thank you so much for coming on the channel. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So, let's go back all the way to the beginning. I always like to tell us like a story because it's just funner to tell it that way. So take us back to the beginning. What were you doing before digital marketing, and what did you feel like you were maybe missing something, and that's the reason why you wanted to get into digital marketing? What was going on in that situation?
Before I got into digital marketing, I was working at Metro PCS for about 2 years. Um, I had just had took a break from college. I had got sick. I had got something called diverticulosis, and I kind of stopped. Like my third year of college, I was going for psychology. I had to like drop out and get my health back into place. Then I got back into the workforce to do retail, and I was doing Metro PCS, and I enjoyed working with the people, but I always felt like I was so close to finishing college and doing psychology and having a career that something was off. That like this is not where I'm like meant to be, but I wasn't sure yet, and I didn't know if I wanted to go back to school. So what happened was I went. There's a funny story. I went to a party, and then I came back from the party. This is like in 2017, and when I came back from the party, I was like a little tipsy, and then I'm looking at YouTube, and I come across a YouTube channel, Engineer Truth, Matt Tran, and normally I'm like closed minded when it comes to things on the internet. So I'm like, normally I would say, man, like do this and that with no college degree, and like, man, like this is a pyramid scheme. Like that's how my head used to be. But because I was open, right? And like I was a little tipsy, I say, you know what? Like I might as well just look into it. Like I
Yeah.
felt like it was talking to me. Like, let me just look into it. Let me not be closed minded. Let me see what could come from it. And before we go into everything, it was the best decision of my entire life. Like,
Okay.
like just being open minded to it. Because from that point, I said, let me just look at it and see what's going on. I started to realize that wow, like digital marketing is not like a like some kind of scheme or something like that. It's an actual career. Like it's actually I didn't even know what digital marketing was at the time.
Mhm.
So I really started to get passionate for it. Like just I started looking at like testimonials before I like jumped in. I started looking at other videos to see like if digital marketing is a real thing. Like what is it? And then I was like, you know what? I want to give this a shot. I'm pretty good with computers. And that's in my mind. Like I'm good with computers. I could do this. I could do that. I can fix phones. So this technology thing should be fine. Um, so I gave it a shot. Uh, and then we
It's
can go in
awesome.
deeper
For sure.
into the story, but
For
that's how I
sure.
got started.
Okay, so you were kind of thinking about finishing college, and you were thinking about which career to go into. The job that you were originally in, did tell me more about that. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What was going on with that?
I did like it as far as like working with people. I like
Hmm.
working with people, but I didn't like the methods of it. Uh, like in working on those retail jobs, you're underpaid. You give yourself you put in a lot of time, and then it's like little tactics that you have to use that like it's not part of our personality. Like oh, sell this and add this on, but act like it's free, things of that nature. And I remember I had been taking the course now from I started in the end of 2017. And then in March, the 5 and taking the course little by little. And I remember my manager at Metro PCS said I had a month that like we didn't get as many sales. Wasn't even my fault. I had 3 months back to back to back where I was getting really good sales for Metro PCS. And then I had the manager tell me, "Oh man, you're having a bad month. What's going on? Maybe you should take like a vacation in order to get your mind right so you could come back and sell more of these units because it's kind of slow right now." Uh, and I'm like, okay, all right. So I see that I put in all this work, I put in all this time, my nature, but as far as like the value and the time put in, it was not, it was not where it needed to be, and I know that that's not where I needed to be in life. Uh, however, I did gain a lot of people skills. I gained a lot of understanding of the mechanics of like interactions with people and how people think about products and things of that nature. I used that later on in the story of me becoming a digital marketer. So I did gain insight on it. But as far
Mhm.
as like uh the work that's being put in versus what's coming out of it, not good.
Tell me about I know you kind of said that you discovered Seth's course because you were basically a little tipsy one night. You started watching YouTube. You ran across Engineered Truth channel. Engineered Truth was talking about Seth's course, and that's how you kind of discovered it. Did you actually just buy it right on the spot?
No, so I didn't buy it right on the spot. I watched some testimonial videos and then I started looking up what digital marketing is because like I was ignorant to what it was. I just thought it was like some kind of like those schemes where like you get somebody and then you do it and then you get somebody else. I didn't even like I just heard him mention it. I seen it and I was like, all right, let me check what it is. And then when I seen it was a real thing, and then I seen the testimonials, my mindset started to change. Like, you know what? And I was looking for something to do. I didn't know if I wanted to go back to school or not. I understand why digital marketing is important because now I'm looking up what it is. I understand the need for it. I was like, man, this could be really something that I could look into. Like, and I see other people having success with it. Let me just open my mind and see like where this could go. But I didn't get it right away. Maybe like a week before I got it.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Hey, a week. That's still pretty quick. That's still pretty quick for sure. Yeah, I think Seth has so many testimonials at this point. I think it would take you probably a couple months to watch all of them. That I think
Mm-hmm.
a lot of
And when
people
I first
actually
started, it wasn't that many.
yeah, yeah, a lot of people do that. They're like they tell me, "Yeah, I watched every single one of his testimonials before I bought the course, so it took them like a month to watch all of them," which I think is kind of funny. But hey, if if you need that inspiration, that's good. Okay, cool. So you bought the program, and did you really dive all the way into it at first, or did it kind of take you a little bit to really start, diving into it?
I dived right in. Like
Okay.
I I was this is my first time ever taking a course. Um I started go like I took the course differently. Like I didn't just start doing the things in the course. What I did was I just watched the videos. I didn't take no notes. I didn't do make no actions. I just wanted to understand what was in the course. Like what is this and what resources do I have to my disposal. Once I like just was just watching the videos and going through the course and just like mentally taking notes of like, all right, this is what this is about, and this is what the value that I'm gonna get out of this. I got extremely hyped, and I did it that first time. I didn't do anything. The second
Hmm.
time, I went through the course. Then I started taking notes. Is when I actually started taking action. So then I already did it once. I know what's in there. I did it a second time. I took notes, so now I'm already familiar with things. And then the third time I went through it, now I'm actually doing it with the course. That was just my method. But by the third time, I felt really, really comfortable and familiar with it and confident because I already had went through it 2 other times.
Hmm.
and reinforce that information. So it didn't feel like as intimidating as it could have been doing stuff that I never did before.
That's awesome. I love that. Love that. And so how long, I think you told me it was maybe around 10 months or so before you're able to get a job after pursuing. So
Yeah.
about 10 months or so. No, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
so I left my job in March when they told me to like, hey, you should take a vacation. I saved up all my money from my tax return so I could like survive off that. And I
Mhm.
like did it 8 hours a day. Like I didn't quit my job and just say, oh, now I got free time. I'm gonna watch some anime and play some video games or anything like that. I'm gonna go hang out with friends. No, I
Hmm.
said, all right, well, I was at my job for 10 hours a day. I'm gonna work on this for 8 to 10 hours a day as if I was
Nice.
working. So I did that. And then in like the summertime, that's when I got my first internship uh for SEO, place
Okay.
called Studio in the Box. And it was like online internship for SEO.
Hmm.
And is there going to be a plot twist because I'm not an SEO specialist? So I did the SEO. I was doing that, and then I still wanted to kind of get into paid search, which is the for those who don't know, is the paid side of marketing. Where SEO is the organic side of marketing. So I was kept looking for internships, and that one was remote. That first one, believe it or not, even all the way back then, remote wasn't as easy to get as it is now. And I went to Manhattan and I found the internship at a job and I went there and they was also hiring for SEO. And I'm gonna say the person's name because they was a bit of a definitely a mentor to me and they gave me a shot. And it really JP, shout out to JP. Uh
Mm.
I went there. He we had a conversation. I told him what I was doing, my skills, and he said, "Can you start right now?" So I went to interview for the internship, and I got hired on the spot, and then I didn't go home. In my suit and tie at an interview, he said, "You want to start right now?" I said, "Sure, no problem." So I
That's
stayed and I
awesome.
worked on that day. And I worked there from maybe like July to November.
Mm.
He really took a shot on me, but I will say that like he was very impressed, and all the other places that I was applying to, uh, even back in that time, 2017, 2018 now, like wow, like this is the first time that I've interviewed someone that actually knows so much about digital marketing
Hmm.
because like Seth's course doesn't just prepare you to learn how to do digital marketing, it also prepares you how to get the job.
Mm.
So like a lot of those people interviewing me was used to people like coming out of college with degrees and they never heard of like Google ads or SEO. It's just like traditional marketing, or people just wasting their time like applying for digital marketing and then they find out that they really have IT skills because they didn't even know what they thought like, oh, I could do like digital marketing and computer stuff and I work with
Hmm.
computers. So like the fact that I was so well versed in it by just taking that course for a few months, they was like very impressed. Like, okay, like that's why JP was like, hey, like you want to start right now? Like I've been looking for somebody. I couldn't even find nobody that even knew what digital marketing was. And my SEO guy just left. Has said, so like let's do it. So I did that. And then after I did that, that helped me build experience on my resume. Just working with actual clients. While I was there, they actually got a client that did paid search or PPC. And they said, well, we don't know how to do this. We do SEO, we do copywriting. Does anybody here know how to do this? JP was like, we was sitting in the office in Manhattan. It was like a room. It wasn't super big, and we were all sitting at a round table with our laptops. And he says, we have an opportunity for some Google ads. Does anybody know how to do this? Because we don't want to say no. And I said, hey, I know how to do it. And he's like, the intern SEO guy knows how to do paid search. Let him try to do it. And then
Uh,
like because we want to get this. This is a big break. So I get the account. And it was luckily, like Steph's course has all the different aspects of marketing. So I took the time to learn both because I didn't know which one I was going to go with. I like paid search a little bit more anyway, but I was gonna just take what I could get. If I get SEO first, and that's gonna be my path. So I did really, really good on the paid search side of things. And I started getting more clients at that internship. And then I was doing the both SEO and paid search. And then that uh that information allowed me on my resume, allowed me to get my first like actual paid job at an agency in Manhattan on 34th Street next to the big Macy's, like at an agency job in the office. And I got that in November. I applied for that in November. I went back and forth during like the interview phase. And I remember my recruiter said, "You just got one more interview to do. You need to go meet the CEO of the company and you need to have an interview with him." And I'm not used to, like, at this time, I'm not super well business versed. I'm not used to like going into like this corporate life or like going into like an office or anything like that. So it was new to me and I was all for it. But it was like serene. And I get there and I get to that, and this is at AI Media Group. The CEO name is Sergio. And he's sitting there and he's got his glass of like whiskey. And I never interviewed somebody while they're drinking whiskey. And he's like, "Oh man, like tell me about yourself." And then I started telling him about myself, and then he was like, "Yeah, my guys that interviewed you, they said they really like you. They said you explain things really well. And then let me ask you a few questions myself." So I'm asking, the pressure's on me. I'm like nervous. I'm like, but I'm not, I'm still know that I could do this. I'm confident. And then at the end, and I'm like sweating, he's like, "Oh man, I'm just messing with you. You already got the job yesterday. I just wanted to introduce myself and tell you that welcome to the team. And I just wanted to like play with you and make sure that you was like definitely a good fit. But you already got the job. Like it's not a real interview. Like I just wanted to and like I remember when I walked in there, like it was a big, beautiful office. Like I felt like I was at Google itself. Like I was like, man, like this is crazy. I can't imagine working here because this is like some crazy thing. I remember when he said that, he said, "Yeah, like you got the job. Just reach out to your recruiter, talk to them, and then you sign some paperwork." I like remember going downstairs, like everyone's like, "Welcome to the team," like holding in the tears, going downstairs and like boohoo crying. Like I can't believe that I did this. I called my mom, and I started that job at $50,000. So for me to like start it in 2017, making $10 an hour, overworked, wasn't sure if I was going back to college or not, to then like in 7, 8 months make my first salary job for $50,000 was like crazy to me. Working in the in Manhattan, like the prime spot in Manhattan, like in
Ooh,
this big high rise office,
wow.
was crazy. So
That's amazing. That part with the whiskey, the guy drinking the whiskey, that reminds me of the show Mad Men. They're always like
yeah,
drinking whiskey in that show
yeah,
while they're working
it's
and stuff.
crazy.
That's
Yeah,
crazy. Wow. That's a great story. It's an amazing story. All right. So you got that first job. What were your, jobs after that? Like what was kind of the progression? Because I think you're about 6 months in now, right? Or 6 years in
yeah,
to your career now.
about 7 years
Oh
now.
wow.
Now, yeah, like
seven
almost
years.
like 7 years. Yeah, 6, 7 years, something like that. It's either 6.5 or 7. I can't remember.
Wow.
But so I did that job. Now that's like I got that job in the end like November 2018. I had a blast. I had a chance to actually go to Google, and like the actual headquarters, um, like 2 times. I built relationships, I networked. Maybe 2 years in, like 2019 or so, or yeah, like 2020, um, I decided like, you know what, like I love this job. It's my first job, but I want to continue to go. Like I feel like I'm getting maybe a little bit of diminishing returns. I love everything about this job, but it's time for me to keep progressing into my career. Um, so I applied for a job, not knowing that it was a very, very high end job. I just applied for it. And then what happened was I said like, all right, well, I'm gonna take my leave at this job now. Because I was a junior SEM specialist there. And this job, I was looking to be not a junior. There's a
Mhm.
lot of some politics going on. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to another job. I then get the job call that I did get the job at the job that I just applied for. Uh, I I remember I wanted the my salary to be like I asked for like 60K, and now it's at 50K. And it ended up being 65, and then
Mhm.
it ended up being at Horizon Media.
Mhm.
So Horizon Media is like top five biggest agencies in North America.
Mhm.
I didn't know that. I was just applying for it, and I got the job during the pandemic. So I left, and oh, I forgot to mention this. I left my other job before I got that job. I said,
Mhm.
I said I want to put a lot of time into getting another job. And the only way I'm going to hyper focus on the job that I actually want to get is for me to put all my energy and time into finding a good job. And I can't do that at the
Mhm.
same time while I'm working at this job. So, like, at every step, I took a risk. Like,
Mhm.
I didn't go back to school and I quit my 9 to 5 with no other job to do the course. I got a job. I stayed at my job for almost like about 2 years or so. And then I quit that job and not another job to take a risk to get another job. And I
Mhm.
actually got the call that I got the job right when like a week after the pandemic started. And when I left the job that I did, half of the digital marketing team or team in general got furloughed. So
Ah,
you see how that works.
yeah.
Like like I didn't know that that was going to happen. I just knew it was time for me to continue my journey into marketing.
Mhm.
And then I would have stayed there. Like some good people that didn't have nothing to do with your skill level, they got furloughed.
Mhm.
So while that was being furloughed on that side, I just started Horizon Media, which is like one of the biggest agencies that you can work at. Uh, and during that time, that's where I really, really, really got to like get my experience in like doing reports, having really big accounts. Like I went from like having like 40 different accounts, managing like $140,000 a month to at Horizon Media, having only like 4 accounts, managing like 1.5 million a month. So it was a big jump and change. But I think each job that I had molded me to where I need to be now. Of course, I could have just stayed at one job for like 7 years, but each job gave me something that added on to my skill set. So after I was at Horizon Media, I stayed there for about another like year and a half, 2 years. And then another fellow alumni uh, that works in SEO, um, he was like, "Hey, you can get a job with me. Like, I got a really good job." So I said, "You know what? I really like Horizon Media. I'm about to get promoted, but let me just check out this job." The SEO person's name is Dre, um, and he's really really known in the SEO space. Another original
Mhm.
alumni. So I went to that job, and this goes to show you that more money doesn't always mean that it's a better job.
Mhm.
Because I jumped from 65 to 80 at
Mhm.
this other job, but then I was doing all the different types of marketing like pay search, uh, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, everything.
Mhm.
And I really didn't like the job. Like the people was cool, I did learn from the job. I won't name the name of the job because I'm saying I don't like it. Like I named the other ones because I have good relationships with all the jobs that I've been at. But I didn't really like this job. And this goes to show you that like it's nothing wrong with taking a step backwards to make 2 steps forward.
Mm-hmm.
Because at this time in my career, um, I had like I had just started coaching now for Seth because I was coaching for Seth now. And I just started. And I said, I really don't like this job. You know what? I stayed there for 5 months. And I got this offer to come into this job that was 70K. So it was 10K less than
Mm-hmm.
the 80K. But it like it, it was like the energy was so good. Like literally, I remember telling the person that was going to hire me at, and this is at now CTC, Common Thread Collective, and the guy's name is Tony, and I said, you know, Tony, I have like a few interviews. I even got one for like 90K that I'm like in talks with, an in-house position. And Tony said, okay, I'm gonna tell you what, because we really value like what you bring into the table, the way that you present yourself, your knowledge. He said, it's not all about money. We can give you more than money. I love Tony. He said, we have the best culture in the industry. Now, before you say like that doesn't mean anything, I challenge you to join our online happy hour and come hang out with us before you even take the job or anything, and just then make up your mind if you want to join us. I said, okay. I said, I'll take you up on that. He said, you only got to stay for 15 minutes. I go to the online uh happy hour.
Uh,
And when I get there, I only supposed to stay there for 15 minutes. I end up staying in the online happy hour for 4 hours, hanging out with them, talking to them. It was great. It was like so good. And then from there, I said, all right, I'm gonna take the job. I didn't take the higher paying job. I took that job, and that was one of the best digital marketing career decisions of my life
wow.
because I learned so much at that job. I already was really good at digital marketing at this point in time, but that pushed it over the edge. That put me in my prime. That
Mm-hmm.
allowed me to learn uh, to master client calls, that allowed me to master e-commerce, that allowed me to master reporting, like all these things that I knew how to do that I was pretty good at. I became a master, and I will say that like that job is like the hard. It doesn't pay as high as the other jobs, but as far as knowledge, it's like the Harvard of digital marketing jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And like it was the knowledge that I got from it was way more worth than the pay. And then at
Mm-hmm.
this time, I also had my side gig. So I have my own coaching and mentorship, and I help people that are either one that want to become entrepreneurs or they want to go deeper into their digital marketing journey. These are people after sex sports that already have a job, already been in the career, and then I also coach with Seth. So like with my everything I was doing in my entrepreneur journey, plus that I was still making good money. I was still making at one point like as I was going through it, I hit now I'm at 6 figures now.
Mm-hmm.
But like with that job and my mentorship, I'm at 6 figures. So instead of like going for like this super high corporate job, I could at this point in time, I could get a job for like 170 if I wanted to, 150 because of my skill set.
Mm-hmm.
But I got a job that gave me a peace of mind that I really, really loved, that I really, really enjoyed. At the same time, I still did my and still gave me time to do my entrepreneurial stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to learn instead of just going for like the highest money I can get and then hate the job. And then where I'm at now is after I left that job, I'm at a job that I'm at this current job right now. I can't tell you how much it is, but it's about 25 to $30,000 more.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and that job I do e-commerce, lead gen, I helped train a team in Romania. I had like my own team, kind of like a supervisor. I have really, really, really big accounts now.
Hmm.
Very well respected there, and I love this job just as much as I love the last job. Because I love the last job. The only reason why I left is because the pay was a little bit low, but I was learning a lot. But now, like I'm in my prime, I know everything I need to do, and this job culture and the way that they treat me is just as good as the
Hmm.
last job, but only they pay like what I'm worth.
Hmm.
So, yeah, that's my
That's
whole
awesome.
like job journey.
That's amazing.
Kind of
That's amazing.
long, but
Yeah, I just wanted to say really quickly, if anyone's confused about this terminology we're using, pay per click, PPC, SEO, e-com, all this kind of stuff, there is going to be a free training, which I'll put down in the description in the pinned comment below, where Seth is actually going to explain what all these things are. He's going to explain digital marketing, the different types of career paths you can go into, whether or not it's a good fit for you, and pretty much tell you how you can get into it as well. And that's going to be down in the description in the pinned comment below. So it's a free masterclass. Definitely check that out if you're confused about any of that stuff. Okay, so that is an amazing story all the way up to this point. And one thing I want to ask you is, what would you say that there are certain personality types that do better in digital marketing, or would you say that there's kind of a good fit for everyone depending on their personality? And by personality, I mean introvert, extrovert, artistic, analytical, that kind of thing. Is there a job in digital marketing for everyone, or is there some types of personalities that do better?
I think that because this digital marketing is such a wide net and there's so many different things that you could do, that there's literally a personality type that can fit each different job. Because like you could be somebody that is like, all right, I'm really, really into the numbers. I'm really into looking at spreadsheets. Like you could go into just more on the data analysis side, and the reporting side and the analytics side of things. You could be somebody that I want to be on the ground level. I want to be talking to the clients. I want to be providing that value. You could start off in like doing the digital marketing yourself and then go into client services and then be like a digital marketer, but at the same time managing the client relationship between the uh the the specialist and the job itself. There's so many like digital marketing is such a wide net of things. I will say that there are some soft skills that will make it easier to transition into digital marketing. And like some of those soft skills would be making sure that you have your mindset of time and task management is on point, because it's easy in this type of field, especially like working from home, to like burn out if you don't understand how to manage your time and your tasks and how you feel about it.
Mhm.
Because if you're not organized, you're going to feel unorganized and you're going to feel like all this stuff is coming at you at once, no matter what your personality type is.
Mhm.
And to be able to mitigate that so you don't burn out is to make sure that your calendar is set up where it needs to be. You have a good idea where all your tasks are and what you have to do for the day. Your communication skills is really, really good, because this is going to help mitigate that. Because like I could have a whole bunch of work, and person A can have a bunch of work, person B can have a bunch of work. Person A is looking at it like, oh my God, like I gotta do all this stuff. And then like I'm getting stuff as I'm trying to do the stuff that I'm doing. Person B is looking at it like, okay, this is what I'm gonna be able to do now. I know what days that I need to do these things. So like I'm not bothered by it. Like it's not a problem to push back on certain things. One of my managers told me when he wakes up on Monday to start working and he looks at his calendar to do his stuff, everything else, like if you don't like to talk to people, if you like to talk to people, if you want to be in the numbers, if you want to be in the field, if you want to build the campaigns, if you want to manage people, all the different type of personality traits, there's a job for it.
Mhm.
Uh and I
Awesome.
will say that like I work with like a wide range of personality types.
Hmm.
Uh, and I also like the fact that like not only is the personality types not an issue because you can always find something that you want to do, but it doesn't matter personality, it doesn't matter ethnicity, it doesn't matter about age. I work with people that are in their 60s and 70s. I work with people that are in their teens, like 19, 20. I've
Hmm.
had a manager that was 10 years younger than me. I've had a coworker that's 20 years older than me. So it does like the culture, like, can you provide value? Can you do it? Can you do the job that you do? And can you do it really well? And can
Hmm.
you do it as a team?
Yeah.
Outside of that, everything else, like your personality, what you stand by, everything else would be supported. And that's what I think makes digital marketing culture so special, is because you work with so many different type of people, especially being remote too. Like you
Hmm.
learn a lot from a lot of different people. And it kind of just makes you grow as a person as you work with different personality traits, as you work with different people in other states that you would have never worked with before, other countries that you would have
Hmm.
never worked with before. I've learned a lot by just networking and talking to my coworkers and seeing their point of view, that you kind of encompass all of those things. Like I have
Hmm.
my certain personality trait, but over time my personality kind of changes depending on the situation, because I've learned how to adapt to each situation, seeing my coworkers do it.
Yeah.
So that is
That's
also good
awesome.
as well. Like I feel like you grow as a person because you work with so many people around the world, and I think that's another pro to working remote.
Yeah, I personally don't think that personality is as fixed as a lot of people think it is. I think that
Yeah.
you can change over time for sure. Personally,
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of work, but you can do it definitely. Okay, so next thing I want to ask is, let's say somebody's watching this and they're kind of on the fence. They're not sure if they should jump in. They're in the same situation you were in, because I know you know, watched videos for a week before you decided to jump in. What would you say to that person?
I would say to that person, uh, what is understand what your why is. Like, you know what you want to do. Like, put in your head, what do I want to do and why do I want to do it? How do I want to achieve that? And I will tell you that if whatever your why is and your what is, my why was that I wanted to make sure that I took care of my family, my parents, and I wanted to have financial income to enough to be able to do that. I also wanted to be prideful in what I do, like have a career and be happy and say, hey, I am this person. Like this is part of my identity. And I want to be able to be the man that I needed to be for my now fiance, without having to go back to school. That was my why. That's what drove
Hmm.
me. And whatever gave me that energy to get to my why, that's what I was gonna do. And digital marketing, it works.
Hmm.
It's not a pyramid scheme like I thought in the beginning and before I even watched any of the
Hmm.
videos. It's not something that like you can't do because like I'm not smart enough to do, because both things go around. I coach hundreds and thousands of people with Seth in the last few years, so I know what goes through your head. Like I can't do this. I'm not good with computers. Uh, this is like like I never went to school for this, or I don't have a college degree. So like if I don't go to school for marketing, I'm not gonna be able to do this. None of that stuff matters. I had no experience at all. I didn't know how to build a website. I didn't know what marketing was. I didn't know any of that stuff. Take a leap of faith, but not because you believe in digital marketing, because you believe in the course, because you believe in yourself. Whenever you are investing into like material, the digital marketing, the course, me as a coach, Seth as a teacher, all of it is just resources. But when you're investing to that stuff, you're not investing into us or any of that. You're investing into yourself. And that's what I did. I got that stuff and I took it and I invested into me and made myself my skills more valuable. Um, I literally watch people that are 15 years old get jobs in digital marketing. I
Yeah.
literally watch people that are in their 60s get jobs in digital marketing. So
Yeah.
you can do it. Like, look at it, keep an open mind, and I promise you, it has changed my life. Like the
Mm.
investment that I invested into the course at the time, the course was $100 a month. I stayed in the course for 7 months. I spent $700, and now I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars. So the return on investment is crazy. The things that it allowed me to do, I'm
Mm.
able to travel now, and this is not to brag or anything like that. This is like someone that worked at Metro PCS that was sick, that dropped out of college because they were sick, that didn't grow up with any money or anything at all, that lived in New York, Queens, was able to make hundreds of thousands of dollars just because I took that time to believe in myself that I can do something and get this information for myself. Like, just keep an open mind, and I promise you that like things will happen so quick that you wouldn't even know. Like, you'll still be. I still remember the first day when I took the course, and it's 7 years now. You know, I'm able to travel. I'm able to take care of my family. I'm able to take care of my fiance. I'm able to
Mhm.
do the things that I really wanted to do. I'm able to inspire others and help them do the same thing. I'm able to watch other people grow. I'm able to be a beacon for people in my community or grew up with me or know me or was in the same situation as me. Like, get the courage to be able to know that like they have, it's more to their story than just where they're at today. So,
Awesome.
go for it. I promise you that it's changed my life, and I watch it change other people's lives every single day,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah. And there's a reason that Seth has like hundreds and hundreds of testimonials, like literally not just like testimonials where someone says, "Oh, I really liked it" or anything, but like full length interviews, hundreds and hundreds of them. Like is just so much proof that it works. And again, guys, links in the description. There's free training in there. Also, you can, just have the information for the course as well. Nick, thank you so much for coming on. I think you inspired a ton of people with this one, to see where they can go down the line. Because you're like six years in, and you said if you wanted to, you could have like 150, 180K a year job right now, but you're very happy with your job, and that's definitely very important, right? Like happiness and having maybe a little bit of more work-life balance and stuff like that is really important, and you're still making really good money and crushing it. Plus you're doing your entrepreneur stuff, you're on the side, so it's amazing as well. So again, Nick, thank you so much for coming on, and really appreciate it.
It was my pleasure. Thank you, Shane.